Hi, it's Vinny, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about my gender identity. And specifically, I'm going to just go into a little bit of things that I feel might be dysphoric for me, a little bit of things that I desire, think about, that I long for, and just some of the things that I go through when dealing with my identity. So, as I have said before, I think maybe in my first video, but I don't normally present in the fashion that I do in these videos. On a typical day, I do not look anything like this. I don't look, I wouldn't say hyper feminine, but I do not have, for instance, I don't have a beard. And I don't try to like sculpt my face or do my brows in a way that I feel would make me look a specific way. I don't look like that on a daily basis. I don't usually feel the need to look the way that I do right now, but what happens is there will be times where I get extremely intense, and it's like I really don't know how else to describe it other than it's really, really, 100%, level 100 intensity that I get. Is that sometimes I think about how badly I would love to grow facial hair. That's something that I've always kind of been jealous of. I really wish that I can grow myself a nice natural beard. It could be my own hair. I can style it in all these different ways, trim it, buy some of that fancy beard wax, and it just that really excites me. Maybe dye it, color it, put flowers in it. But that's something that sometimes I kind of just it just really gets me down that I don't really have the ability to do that. And another thing that really upsets me to the point where I do believe I feel a little bit of dysphoria is when I'm like this and I'll go to the mirror, everything's done, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling right, everything looks great, exactly how I imagined it. But then when I start speaking, it is the most grating, like devastating experience to me. It just sounds wrong. It's horrible. It's horrible. My voice um, just doesn't match the way that I want it to. I don't sound the way I picture myself sounding in my head. It doesn't feel right. It feels gross to me. And I just look at myself and I'm like, I'm incomplete. I'm not all there. And it's really upsetting. And the thing is that I know with certain other individuals, usually they think about going on the hormone replacement therapy, and that is not something that I want to do because my problem being is that I actually absolutely love my natural voice. When I present in a more feminine fashion, I think my voice is gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's everything that I ever hoped it to be. But when I am in that kind of more masculine or androgynous mode, it's just like the most horrible thing. I just want to rip out my vocal cords. I want to cry, and it's awful. And I feel like to me, that kind of experience is, from what at least from what I have observed, is kind of a unique sort of experience to people who kind of identify as like two genders or, bigender, where it's like they feel like they're always never going to get to what they want, or they can't exactly accomplish or satisfy their needs, because it's like having almost like having two conflicting identities that don't exactly always line up for one another. Now, with me personally, I believe I am fortunate in the fact that most of the time, um, I feel really comfortable with myself, with my body, the way I look, and the way I present, and it feels good, it feels right. And I'm really lucky because I know that there are a lot of people out there. And when I was when I would talk within the bigender community, I know that there are a lot of people out there that for them it's like a switch in their head. Like it's like, one moment they could um, be this gender, and then maybe an hour later it's different now. And now, they kind of like it kind of throws them for a loop because now they have to kind of change the way they present themselves and their general attitude and whatnot. And it's just that's really tough. And it's just one of those things that right now, you know, when I was younger, it never really used to bother me too much. I guess sometimes it's like when you're younger, there's this nice like ignorance that you have where the world is simple, things are kind of like, you don't put too much thought into them. And then when you get older, you realize there's so many nuances, there's so many little things you never explored before about yourself, and you kind of feel like, at least to me, it almost feels sometimes I have like a little bit of a identity crisis where, I'm looking for a solution or something to kind of ease my anxieties about it, but ultimately I'm just trying to do the best that I can with what I have. But yeah, so having, not having the right voice, it's not matching up the way that I need to feel, um, not being able to grow a beard, those are some things that are just really upsetting to me. And I am so thankful. I know younger me would never believe me, but I am so thankful that I'm practically flat chested. And I do, I'm just so happy for it. I'm glad that I don't have large breasts, even though I do like the way they look, but it just makes that kind of transition so much easier. So when I want to, when I feel more like when I feel more masculine, it's so much easier to kind of get things to feel right because I don't have to worry about binding. I don't bind, and it feels great. The one thing that does bother me though is that apparently, when I feel a certain way, and less so when I'm feeling more of my like femme self, I have this kind of desire to like wear like open, like my shirt open, like to show my chest off. I have like, I don't know what it is. I have this weird like obsession with wanting to like, present to you like, oh, look at this, look at what I have to offer, sort of deal. And it sucks because it's like I'm trying to like tape, tape up my shirt so it can stick to it so that I can kind of have a open chest because with me, like I said, I don't have cleavage because my breasts are so small that they don't come close enough together to, for me to have cleavage. So, I can have this sort of flatness in the middle, but I'm like, all right, make sure to tape this over here, make sure to tuck this over here. Oh, let me take photos of myself. And it's just really the silly thing that happens where I'm just like, you know what? I wish I could just go, I could just go outside open with my bare chest, but I know that that's not going to be, taken the right way. But but yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight into just a little bit more about, how I feel about my identity and what, kind of the things that I go through because I haven't really talked a lot about that. So I hope you enjoyed listening to that, and, always feel free to share anything you'd like to say to me. And, I will see you next time. Bye.